In the past, there has been many racist acts towards Native Americans slash Indians and Hispanics slash Mexicans and blacks and other racial groups other than white Americans. And that racism has built the foundation of America itself. And in the past, it's been normalized to dehumanize a certain culture slash race as it's never been an issue. But why is it an issue when blacks and Hispanics and other racial groups speak out about this racism and discrimination they have been receiving over the decades? But in a white person's eye, that they are interpreting the feelings as just a hate crime towards whites slash Caucasians. And something that Gloria Anzaldua states in the Borderlands is when you bring down one group of people, you are bringing down a bunch of group of people, such as when you bring down a group of black people, you are bringing down a group of Hispanics. And when you bring down a group of women, you are bringing down a group of blacks, Indians, Hispanics, and all different races. And Gloria explains how much racism there is in America and how white people don't see that racism in America. And the racism has gone to an extreme as to even putting laws against certain racial groups. Like for the Indians, they have made a law where the Indians can live in a certain place where they have to live with other Indians. And for blacks, they have made the Jim Crow laws, which enforced racial segregation in the southern United States. And there was a law that banned people from dancing with sombreros on. And if you know anything about the Hispanic slash Mexican culture, is that a sombrero is a very representation towards their culture, and that shows a lot of pride they have towards their culture. I love the way that Gloria explains racism in America and how it's still very much there, and how racism is mostly made by white Americans. Gloria describes how hard it is to live as a Mexican slash Indian woman and how it's like to live as any other race other than white people in America, like how hard it is to live as a black person in America, always being targeted, always being hated on for their culture slash race, which they can't control, and how that white people think it's all right to discriminate and it's all right to do all these hates, and they don't see the problem, which is something that I can connect to, and many other people too. But what confuses me is, why do white people feel like they are being targeted by other races when they are the one that's targeting other races and hurting and discriminating other races for something they can't control? Not all white people are racist though. There are many nice white people that are very accepting to other cultures, especially in 2020 with all these protests going around. The newer generation is very found and very accepting towards black people and Hispanics and other different racial groups. But Gloria goes on to talk about her experience as a Mexican slash Indian woman growing up in America, and how she's been hated on and discriminated and have been targeted because of her race slash culture, and how she has grown up feeling unsafe living in her own country. And in a way, many others can connect to Gloria, as many people in America feel that sense of unsafety and that sense of fear that they might get jumped, or fear that they might get shot because of their skin color or because of their race. But Gloria goes on to also talk about sexism in the US and how women are show that they have to look nice, that they have to be put in a certain way, and they have to be a certain way. But over the decades, a woman's right has increased, and now more women have more rights, but sexism is still there, like in the workplace. And many women feel that in the workplace that they are targeted on, as they might be the only woman in the workplace with a bunch of men, and that the men usually take advantage of the woman because she is the only woman. And some people even go as far to sexually harassing a woman in their own workplace, which can fear many other women as they are the only woman, and usually they are targeted on more. But what is usually seen in the older generation is that older white people, such as older women or older men, feel like women shouldn't be working and women should be a housewife taking care of her child and husband, and that women don't need to work as there is a man to get the money in the house, which most of the newer generation would disagree that women should be able to work as women are more independent, which we see that in the older generation. But something that Gloria also goes on to speak about is that not only women face sexism, men as well face sexism, and she even talks about seeing her father face sexism as he is a man and he should be the man of the house and he has to act like a man, and that to be a man you have to be masculine. And she talks about if a man has some feminine traits, like he loves to do his skin routine, then he is considered to be gay and not straight because of that. But with the newer generation, we don't see that sense of sexism towards men, and we don't think that if a man puts some moisturizer on, then he is automatically gay. We don't see that, but in the older generation, we see that still happening, and that sexism still towards men, that they have to be a man and they have to be masculine. Sexism and racism is still shown in this generation, but it's not as much as in the older generation, mostly in the baby boomers and older, which is something that I want to reach out to that older generation to talk about why they think it's alright to be racist and sexist towards women, men, and other races of different cultures.